people who make it. Thanks for joining. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today for the E-Spot with Camille. I cannot wait for you to meet my guest. I just realized this is way too high. So, anywho, I cannot wait for you to meet my guest today. I have Amy Lynn Design, who is one of the co-founders of the Kaleidoscope Project, which I have been talking about for 2 seasons now. So, if you don't know by now, Google them because they're amazing. It's a great project. It's non-for-profit. And the whole concept is to draw more attention to BIPOC designers, people of color, and the global majority and all of that. So make sure you find out more information about them there. And then I also have one of the chair members from the Kaleidoscope Project who happens to be the COO of Everick Brown Designs. And he may say, so I'll say it too, the better half between the two couple that work together and design together and do so much more together. Just amazing things. I cannot wait to talk to both of these ladies. But we're going to go ahead and start with Amy for now. And Lisa, if you're out there, hopefully you're joining soon. And make sure in the chat you let me know where you're watching. If you're watching on YouTube, Facebook, and where you're watching from. If you're here locally in North Carolina, LA, or if you're up in the Berkshires or New York, because my guests are from everywhere today. So I'm really excited about having you and having my guest today. So thank you for joining me. Here comes
Amy.
Hi, Amy. I am so glad to see you again. How has everything been going since the last time we saw each other in Dallas? Oh, wait, we saw each other in High Point. So Dallas and High Point. How are things been going?
We are on the fast train. Lisa will be joining us.
I'm here.
Oh, she's here. Yay.
I'm sorry.
Not a moment to.
We're live.
Hi, we're live.
Hi, thanks for joining me.
Thank you for having us.
And no worries, because I kind of was running a little bit late today because I was so busy editing. I thought it was only 10 o'clock. And then I looked down. I was like, oh, I haven't put on makeup. I haven't brushed my teeth. I haven't.
About that.
So,
I know Amy and I were talking about getting makeup on.
Yeah.
And, Everett normally sets up my lighting and everything. I'm like, oh my God, my lighting isn't set. And he's gone.
Oh, well, see, you can make anything by yourself. But I was saying just before you came on that you were the better half of Everick Brown Design. So clearly.
Oh, that's so sweet. Thank you. He says that too. And I think he just wants, dinner or something.
Well, dinner, and you're the COO. So I'm sure there's more than that. The free labor. Just kidding. I'm sure it's.
Am I good on volume? Should I put on?
Yeah.
You sound great. Everybody sounds great. Everybody looks great. So, Amy was just getting ready to share how things have changed with the Kaleidoscope Project since Dallas and High Point, because that's the last time I saw her was in High Point.
Yeah.
Go ahead and share, Amy.
Well, we are in full swing working on our Firehouse Project initiative. Lisa Walker Brown and Everick Brown are designers on this project, as well as Lisa is a board member of the Kaleidoscope Project, and we are in full steam ahead. They're designing kitchens, they're doing mood boards, the build is going up. We're definitely in crazy town, and we're really looking forward to the opening on August 4th.
Yeah, and we have great relationships with our sponsors. We have the best sponsors, so we're super excited.
Best sponsors. We are working with Fisher and Paykel Appliances.
Dreamy.
So good, amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
So exciting.
The appliances are so mind-blowing. It's like the Jetsons. I mean, it's
yes.
Yeah, more. Explain what makes them better. Not necessarily better, because I don't want to offend anybody out there that might be with a company I might have to model with soon. But share a little bit about what makes such a great new appliance. Is it like energy savings? Is it just the beauty of it all? Like, can you share a little bit about just a little bit? And maybe you can send me pictures later that I can post so people can see what you're
Yeah.
talking about as well.
Definitely can send pictures, and we both had the pleasure of being in the showroom last week and getting a real tutorial. Yes, they are
good food
and fabulous food.
Hey, I love the company
They are really the leaders in the energy efficient game. It's all made in New Zealand. The technology was something I've never seen before. Lisa and Everick design way more kitchens than I ever did. So she could probably speak to it better than I, but I was blown away by the technology, the style, of course, and how green the company is, and so many efforts are being made for sustainability. It was very impressive.
Well,
Yeah, absolutely.
Lisa, share a little bit about your career as well, because I already kind of did an intro for Amy, but I was like, I'll wait till she gets here to say all the wonderful things you did. I did mention the COO part, but can you explain for everyone, because I haven't interviewed you before, unlike Amy, how you got started in the design business? Because you haven't.
Well, I'm, as they say, I'm married into the family. I married into it really because I was, in corporate America for like 20 plus years and not ever fulfilled in corporate America. I just was such an odd ball in that place. And so it really never made me happy. And when Everick and I started dating, I just started helping him with the business, just from an administrative and marketing standpoint. I'm not a designer, or what I wasn't. I mean, wouldn't really call myself one yet, but I definitely contribute to the design, of our projects. I have my special things I love to do, like kitchens and bathrooms and bedding. I love linen. So, things like that, where I feel like I do have, and Everick really always asked me my opinion, and I'm like, well, I don't know, you're the designer. But we always say that 4 eyes is better than 2, and then the 2 of us sort of come up with great ideas together sometimes, or he'll come up with a great idea and I'll kind of tweak it, or we'll just really do a great collaboration. And I think sometimes I'm speaking for one half of the couple that we're working with, and he's speaking for the other half, and we just sort of have this synergy. And the only time I really got to experience sort of what it feels like to be the client, we renovated our bedroom and our master bathroom during 2020, and I got to be the client. So I said, this is what I want. And he was like, oh no, we don't do that in master bathrooms. And I'm like, well, that's what I want. And so, but you're the designer. And I always say that, whenever, at the end of the day, I've never seen him design something where the client was not seriously 100% happy, if they just let him, go at it. And so I fully trust, when he's making decisions on window treatments and tile and things like that, that he'll land it, because he knows if it's not quite right, no matter how many times he presents, he'll still go back and, sort of make changes and then arrive at, something really special. So with our bathroom, I kept saying, I want this dark bathroom. I wanted this dark spa tile. And he's like, no, you don't do that. It's supposed to be, lighter. And he kept presenting all these light tiles. And I was like, okay, I'm sure so I'll be happy either way. I just want a new bathroom. And then finally he came home with this really rich artistic tile, dark tile that was just so beautiful. And now I have this, very spa, 0 entry shower, and this tub that sits in the middle of, all this darkness, and it's really beautiful. So, like I said, I married into it. I started helping him little by little, and then, was able to retire from my previous career, and, I'm here full time.
Well, we're happy to have you, because now, from looking at your website, even one of your clients had mentioned that working with you, because I remember it perfectly. They said, who knew that there was more than 50 shades of gray? The movies are wrong. Almost divorce you gray. I hate you gray. I will not.
That's Andre. He's hilarious. Those actor types.
Was it for both of you? Like you said, one represents one half, the other represents the other half, where you come together, and we're kind of like marriage counselors as well. And I can see that, because my husband and I were debating on redoing the guest bathroom. Mm-hmm. And immediately like we didn't see eye to eye on anything that I
Yep.
was like, why even have a tub? You never take a bath in it. Like, let's just, because I remember
I might, if I like it, I'm
tile, no
inspired.
country, shower, and I loved it. And even my mom's house in Hawaii had that, and it was
Yes.
beautiful. And like there was all this windows that you could see the pool and the ocean from. That I was like, let's bring resort spa life home. Like, why
Exactly.
you want just a fancy tub and all of the fancy things, but you don't take bath? Like, the primary bathroom can have the bathtub.
Well, that was the inspiration. You're exactly right. It was vacation. I'm sure I was somewhere in the middle of, some fabulous, really resorty place. And that's where I got the zero entry from. I'm like, I want this one day. And I never forgot. So you're right. That is what you want. So yeah, you're right. So with couples, we do, tend to make sure that the person who doesn't necessarily speak up and give their voice, that one of us is speaking for them. And then we also, there's always going to be a budget conscious person and then the person who wants to spend the money. So we do a very detailed budget, line by line, everything, and just upfront, what you're up against, and get everybody to sign off on that, and then we can go forward.
Yep. See, that's the corporate side helping out.
Yeah, that's that Dartmouth. That's that Dartmouth brain.
Yeah. Well, I saw that you worked for AT&T, and I'm like, I'm sure you had, like, I see my bill from them. Well, you don't.
Mine too.
Much easier, but I like they were very detailed. So I think a lot of times with artists, they just want to paint. They just want to do.
Yeah.
I'm a daughter of an artist. I was born into that, so to speak. And so they just want to create. They don't want to do the marketing. They don't want to do all of that. So it's the perfect symmetry of both of you working together, where you take care of that part, but you still have your creative side as well. Was there, for other people out there who may be contemplating either remodeling or working with a spouse, what are some ground rules you would have them put down before even getting started and bringing you into the drama of it all, or risking divorce court?
Always drama.
Well, there is going to be, but I think that like everyone should, like, if you really have something that is important to you, then let's talk about that. Let's lift that up. So, a lot of couples, somebody doesn't really, mind that much. It's like, I'll live with it. We're working this beautiful couple that we've known for many years, and they've bought a vacation house in Martha's Vineyard. And that's, where we have a few projects and we really enjoy working there. And the husband is just like so sweet. He's just like, whatever, but he actually has better taste than the wife. So, when he does chime in, it's really great advice, So it's just like that person who says, I don't really care, whatever she wants. But, if you ask his opinion, he comes up with really great, ideas. So you want to give that voice, an opportunity, an opening. And so we just try to make sure that everybody's happy. It's very easy to make the very strong, opinionated person get everything they want, but that's not going to be the only person living there. So we want to make everybody happy. So the house, when they both are there, they feel like it's, so warm and comforting and, respite, and, not the designer's plan. It is, what they wanted elevated.
No, that's a great point. So Amy, you're working with all of these designers again on another new project. And this kind of ties into Lisa's previous or current career as well, with events and producing and all of those things. So I want to go ahead and talk about your new part of the adventure this time with the filming side of things.
Yeah. Well, first I just want to say that I've now worked with Lisa and Everick for well over a year and a half, and it is an amazing partnership. If I could say seamless, supportive of each other. I mean, it's truly remarkable. And Lisa does have a great eye. So her contribution is always noted for sure. And welcome by Everick all the time.
Yeah.
Even in his interview, he was singing her praises. And when I met her in Dallas, they were so cute together. You're just like, are they newlyweds? Like, is this how it goes once the kids get out of the house?
It's how it goes when you've known each other since you were in 5th grade.
Oh, wow. I know no one since 5th grade.
It was, we were boyfriend and girlfriend in elementary school. We didn't, reunite again until, a high school reunion, but yes, it is.
Okay, we're gonna have to get back to that
We'll
because
have to get back to that later. Not important right now.
story right there in itself. But
So cute.
yeah, so Amy, share how I guess the new phase came about.
You know, we came off such a success of last year's project. We were in the midst of getting our 501(c), which we have now, which, you know, is a long process. If anyone else has ever done it or want to do it, don't reinvent the wheel. We're happy to give you advice. But, you know, we wanted to continue the ride, continue to create new and more interesting platforms, which, you know, it's a constant ongoing thought process. And the Firehouse project came to me through, I work with the developer personally. And it was such a cool building built in the early 1900s, and he's turning it into market rate residential housing. So we can only rent these units for X amount of dollars, which is not a lot. And these designers that are so spectacular, we have 4 design teams doing one each of 4 units. And we're so excited to continue the journey with them. They all have very different styles and aesthetics, so it'll be really fun to see what each of them create in very similar spaces. And the camaraderie between all of these designers is really remarkable, and something I enjoy being a part of all the time. It just really makes the whole process very joyful and super fun. And when everyone's together, it's like a family at this point. So we're looking for a lot of other projects that are coming down the pike and continuing the journey. And yes, this is being videoed with our media partner, Spire Magazine. And their streaming channel that was just launched, Home Plus, HOM. And so a lot of this process is being videotaped for different purposes. So we're excited to see what that outcome is, and our sponsors are excited about it, and it's just a great journey right now.
No, I spoke with Rashida even, and one of the big things I thought was exciting about this new project was that you don't have the limitations you did with the other project. You couldn't bring in new electricity or new lighting. Like they get to build it from the floor up, literally. And so I'm curious for Lisa, was there any part of that journey that you had to kind of like work around? Were there any challenges with that as well? Or are you guys even, well, no,
we're not even there yet. No, but we're not having those kind of
spaces. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah. This project well, first of all, you learn so much from the first project, right? And we were able to make sure we don't do this, and we definitely do that. And, so I think that, having gone through that, and that being just such a stressful, like everything was so hurried, and we had a really great contractor, and we had great partnerships, but we struggled with, certain other things that, went on in that property. But now we have a lot more control over what's going on and upfront planning. And that's really helping. We've already been to the site, a couple of times, and we're able to, work directly with the builder and, kind of give our wish list, and, we just have good partners, and it's a much smoother process than the previous showcase house. But that was fun. In all that craziness and chaos, it was fun. And we did really get to, I think, sometimes if you're thrown into the fire pit and you don't know anybody, you're helping each other out. And that's sort of what happened with that. So the relationships that got developed as a result of having had to, work through all this chaos was what, we carry forward to this next project. And we just love each other and then help each other. So that I would say was something that I'm grateful for, the chaos.
Yeah, I would say so, because I mean, you didn't even mention, but you guys were also working during a pandemic, and a lot of things were shutting down the first time around, as opposed to this time around. It's just, I'm assuming, but maybe because you're working directly with the sponsors, there was more of an issue of when will you get it? Like with shipping,
that's still an issue.
people being on furlough still and so on, or just understaffed because they found ways to work from home instead of having to do manual labor to some extent too. So you worked on so many cool things, but I want to go back a little bit further. I kind of hinted at it today on social media, and I did ask for permission because usually it's not always a good time to ask for permission because what if they say no? So, but I didn't want to put you on and not have any great stories already on your mind. So tell a little bit about growing up in LA, because your mom is amazing. Like, she was a Virginia Slim lady, like come a long way. She's modeled with Ray Charles. Like, can you share a little bit about?
Well, yeah, and I didn't know that you were from LA. That's really interesting. Like, you grew up where I hung out.
Well, I didn't grow up there. I didn't move there until like I was an adult, but we would live back and forth there. Like while my dad was filming different things, we would be there for like 6 months, 3 months here, there. And
yeah, that's living in LA.
Oh, okay. In that case, yes, I lived in LA.
Not growing up. Yeah, I understand. No, it was a very interesting childhood. When you have, and probably one of the reasons why I'm just so afraid of this entrepreneurial thing, because, my mom was an actress and a model, and, just one of the most beautiful women of, at the time. And it was always sort of this feast or famine thing. You don't, as a Black actress model, you're not like, even as beautiful as she was, jobs were far and few between at different times in our life. So, luckily my dad was super stable and always, kept us grounded, but it did come with a lot of interesting, events, parties, and, I got to do some very cool things. And, my mom would come and be like,
you got to do very cool things without giving some details.
Oh my God. Okay.
Come on. That's what people are paying for, to hear these kinds of stories. True Hollywood story, but from the Black side. Please. And with royalty, come on.
I went to Michael Jackson's Sweet 16 birthday party at the house.
Wow.
I was not prepared for it to be that great. What was that like?
It was interesting.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was, and Billy D. Williams took me. So.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Like
that was
45 guy going to, so how, like, what was your relationship with? Were you close friends with Michael, or just?
No, I was not.
Okay.
No, I just, was, we were very close with Billy and his family. And, I was like the kid, he took me and his son, Corey. And that was that part. I don't know why we got to go. He just said, hey, you guys want to go? Let's go. I get to be on Sesame Street with Richard Pryor. When I was little.
I love Richard Pryor.
I love Richard Pryor.
Well, when my parents were watching him, like, I would hide behind the sofa so I could hear his routine, and then try to wait at school. And that's how I got in trouble the first time, because they heard me cussing. Yeah. Don't recommend. But I loved him.
We just
Eddie
didn't
Murphy,
hide it.
all of that. So.
We just played the album. My mom didn't care. That's the model actress. But anyway, yeah. So she would come and be like MC at a modeling show or something at school. That was cool. She'd come to school, and everybody would say, "Oh my God, your mom's so pretty." She did some very cool things. When she did the Ray Charles album, she's the only person to ever share a cover with him. And it's a beautiful album cover. She's very sexy and gorgeous in that picture. And then it was featured. They did at the one of the museums, LACMA in LA. They did an exhibit of Ray Charles. And so I didn't know when we walked in the room, and she was like the whole wall. It was really fabulous.
Oh, wow.
That was so nice.
Wow.
Yeah, they
still seeing that.
Yeah, that was very, very cool.
I mean, I'm sure as a daughter you were very proud, but what did your mom think of all of this too?
I don't know. I think sometimes it was a little bittersweet for her. I don't know why she didn't always love it. I guess it was also hard. I mean, maybe there was, I don't know. It's like one of those subjects where, it's like, weren't you happy when you were doing this? Yeah, happy sometimes, but then there was other stresses, I remember she did this one ad, you might have pulled it up on one of your pictures, where, she was asked to wear like an afro. And so she shows up with like a curly afro because her hair was not, that was the texture of her hair. And, they wanted her to be in they wanted to depict something else. So, I think that, sort of being a Black model at the time and being able to make decisions that you were comfortable with, or being an actress at the time, that you were comfortable with, that she struggled with, because she refused to sort of do the shuck and jive. She refused to do things that, were demeaning, or that didn't uplift her, us as a Black people. She just wouldn't do it. So I think she didn't get roles because that she wouldn't do nudity. She wouldn't do, so there's some things that, she just made choices that, didn't necessarily help her career, but she would not compromise herself.
And I'm happy for it, because I feel the same way about a lot of the jobs I get sent. Sometimes, not a lot, but a few jobs I get sent. Like, I am not doing. I did not go to college to pretend to be a stripper. Like,
how about that?
You do, but like my dad was in my life, like that was his thing, to avoid me being on the pole, and he always made a point of saying, you don't want to do anything that will end up in the newspapers, or you would be ashamed that your grandmother read in the newspaper, something to that effect.
Right.
And now with Google and internet, like nothing, like back then the old newspapers were thrown away. Now nothing, anything you do is forever. So I appreciate that she did that, because I don't fault those that do, because Halle started as a crackhead on a film. Right. So I get it, but at the same time, I live in North Carolina. I'm not trying to become a superstar, in that sense. So it's like, I can at least make sure that if I'm on a job, I feel comfortable, which is, I get it. It's not always the case when you're the only one sometimes, and they will say things that may be inappropriate, or want you to do things that aren't moving the culture forward, or moving the needle forward in that direction too. So only imagine in the very sexist 60s and 70s that she dealt with a lot beyond just the racism of it all. But she also made the transition and worked on one of my favorite films, and with one of my Hollywood crushes. I know you're not supposed to talk about Fight Club. That's rule number 1. But how did she make that transition to that as well?
Oh, yeah. So you're talking about when she started working for Color by Deluxe. So after, you can no longer be an actress and a model after whatever age, or just get out of the business. Yeah, she went into working sort of behind the scenes. So she worked for MGM, and she worked for Fox, I think, 20th Century Fox. And then she started working for Color by Deluxe. And so she got to work on, all kinds. Everything went through Color by Deluxe for post-production. So she got to do, work on all very, very cool movies. Yeah. And she enjoyed that work.
Cool. Did you ever get to go to any openings, or I'm still Jackson party.
Yeah, like we always went to screenings. That was one thing. Yeah, we got to go to a lot of screenings. I saw the screening of The Color Purple.
My grandmother was in that.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah, that's the first actor in our family per se. Because her mom was an entertainer for USO colored troops, which we didn't find out till after she had passed. But my grandmother was an extra, because they filmed it in North Carolina, in the town that my mom's family's from.
Wow, how exciting!
In Europe, because my mom was military. So, but yeah,
that's exciting. Yeah, so that was fun. Screenings. If you're living in LA,
I do, and that's what makes me miss it so much, because the perk my dad, like his DGA membership, we would go and see movies before they even came out in the theater.
Yes,
and
right.
They're way more comfortable, and I was spoiled.
Yep.
Now in LA, you had to pay to park, you had to pay for the theater, and it's usually not very crowded either. But at the same time, with everything that your mom's done, I just wanted to make sure you thank her for us, because she's also so proud of you, because we're both in the same Facebook group, and she is always posting things about her son-in-law. And then one time I was like, wait, I know that name.
That's so funny.
She was talking about being your mom. So I sent her the interview and so on. So I can't wait to send her this one too in the group. But
that's so sweet. No, she would love that. And her son-in-laws, I think, are more dear to her heart than her daughters. So nice. My sister and I are like always, in the doghouse, but our husbands are, just they love her to death. They're good to her.
Well, I can understand.
Well, Camille,
of women.
I want to interject for a second because the expertise in the film industry continues on with Lisa's son, Mason Blake, who is a filmmaker, videographer, editor, and
creative art, creative content.
Creative contenter.
Generation.
Yeah.
It's, you could see where it, all the brilliance keeps trending down.
Is he working on the project you guys are doing together, or does he work on films, TV? Oh, I see the eyebrows raised. So
yeah,
that came about, because I have to say I love me some nepotism on the Brown. And I look at Godfather and I see like, wait, all those people are related, like
right
in the film, but on the BIPOC side, usually it's not so, like, we can't even go into the same like at market, you can't even go like in groups together sometimes in some of the showrooms without them assuming you're related. So it's like,
right.
Like, I love when that happens, because my dad was always like, no, I'm scared, like I don't want to not get work. Or
my dad too.
Yeah. So share about that, because I'm excited.
Well, Amy
has been jobs. Yeah.
Amy's been a really great support to Mason, and Mason is super talented, and he can deliver whatever we want. He does great commercials, ad stuff. He's a great writer, and so I just talked to Amy, and Amy met Mason. They went off on their own and created their own little world. So Amy can really speak to the kind of content that Mason is, or hoping to get Mason to develop more content for us, but he's already done a couple of things for some of the designers, but he's always available to shoot any projects and video, any events, and then he puts it all together and makes it beautiful and makes us all look good. So
he does.
That's amazing. I'm glad that the legacy continues, but I can relate to wanting because I too was like, I'm getting a real job. This entertainment business is not for me.
Right.
My dad was a producer. My mom was an account woman. And I went to 26 different schools altogether. And I didn't figure that out until I had to apply for college and they wanted your transcripts. I was like,
oh my God. That's gonna be a little problem.
Because even with college, I went to 6 different ones. And I'm like, I don't have the energy nor the time. But I was like, I wanted a regular job. And then after a while, I just kept getting pulled back into entertainment because I loved it so much. And it's like home for me. And it is like a family reunion when you get to work with the same people again and again, so on. But that kind of reminds me of the Kaleidoscope Project in a way, where you guys get to keep working with the same group of people. Because in the design world, it's very, it's not very competitive. You guys really love collaborating with each other, which I love. And even with this, it's one of these things you guys are all like, every designer I interviewed last year was talking about each other designer as well, in the sense of how they helped them or how they knew different sources and resources and so on. So with this project, I'm so glad you guys get to work together again and even bring in family in this sense too. So Amy, for you, what is your goal for this episode? I mean, not this episode, for this project, and where do you see the Kaleidoscope Project going?
That's a great question, Camille. I mean, yes, they definitely have become a family. We've all become a family. And I do think there's a lot of competition in the design world, yet our BIPOC phenomenal designers are always getting left. And so creating this platform where they are shining, they are getting noticed all over the industry. Rightfully so, because they're so super talented, really unbelievable talents, A-list. And what I see for the future of the Kaleidoscope Project is more community service type projects where we're helping a community in some way, is something that's very important to all of us. And, definitely getting a TV show made out of this whole process of design, of camaraderie, of giving back, peek behind the curtain of really how things work, and definitely displaying the camaraderie and how they all support each other and get along, which is, so many of our design shows are people pinned against each other. And that's not what the Kaleidoscope Project is about. And they really form these design relationships or organically through the last project. But it was one of the most beautiful things that came out of the project, unexpectedly. We're carrying on. We're going to keep at it.
Well, I'm excited for the show, but I don't know if Lisa or Amy, whoever can share about this the most, there's a way that everyone can get involved by attending in August, the great big party and the reveal, and it's being filmed. So can you share a little bit about that, how people can come hang out with the designers and get on TV?
It's also a really good party.
Yeah, great party.
It was last year.
Know how to
Great
party.
It's going to be a phenomenal party. It's August 4th in the Berkshires, Pittsfield, Mass, the Tyler Street Firehouse. And then if you can't make it to August 4th party, opening night, you can tour till the 15th. Till August 15th, there's touring. And either through our website or any of our social media channels, you could purchase tickets. You could reach out to us via email. That's the way to connect. That's the way to see the works in person of these designers before the press, prints them in different publications. We were so lucky last year. We were in over 27 media publications for the project. So the media really embraced it, and they're looking forward to seeing what these designers created and this time around.
No, I mean, obviously, Aspire is definitely going to be covering it.
Of course, Aspire's our media partner, and they've been amazing. Yeah. And yes, they're going to cover it in 2 different issues. And yeah, very excited. And they're going to put together, a presentation reel of the project as well. So we'll be talking on panels and stuff after the fact on, well, more of the designers than me, I hope, of the process and why they made certain selections, from our sponsors. Rashida was just with Kravit and is going to be ambassadoring a whole new collection for them that's going to be shown for the first time in the show house. So things like that are really exciting and fun that are happening.
Oh, that's great. So Lisa, for you and Everick Brown Designs, what are your goals from getting out of the Kaleidoscope Project, and what's on the horizon?
I can't hear you, Camille.
Oh no, you can't hear me.
Did we lose her?
Can she
No,
hear
I'm here. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Oh, great. So
I'm sorry, what was the question? I couldn't hear.
No, yeah. So I remember. Oh, yeah. What's the future for Everick Brown Design? Did you lose me again?
I lost audio.
Oh no. Can you hear Amy?
Yeah.
Oh, now you're
Can
back.
you hear me?
Yeah.
So Camille wants to know what the future is for Everick Brown Design team in association with the Kaleidoscope Project.
Well, we're, in 100%. We really enjoy working together, and we also really enjoy our mission. It's important to us that we continue to, move forward with these type of projects and lifting up, students, BIPOC students, and celebrating this design and sharing, what we can do together. I think that's really important. And, we of course love the design, and I think that we're choosing very interesting projects to work on. Like, I love the idea of the firehouse. That's just a really cool concept, and it's a really cool workspace to be able to be creative. So sorry, my voice is gone. No, but our future is to hang with the group and continue to grow and find new projects and continue to support students and, grab these interns and teach them things. And, we also went out and taught what's the school at the Alfred?
The Alfred E. Smith School.
Alfred E. Smith School. And that was, a great day for the designers to go out and, share their knowledge with some students that might be interested in this career. So, we're not just making a pretty room, we're kind of getting out there and uplifting artists and sharing their work on our platform. And we're collaborating with, some great resources, like great vendors like Fisher Paykel and the Shade Store and Constantino. So we're just having a good time and trying to do some good work at the same time.
Yeah. So I want to just realize the time. So Amy, if you can share where everyone can keep up with you and how they can follow you, and then let Lisa know as well.
Well, I just want to also add quickly that, yes, we're taking students from the Alfred E. Smith High School in the Bronx, graphic design department, and helping them, mentoring them. And they're going to be interns with us, and also helping them get to their next level of education. We're working with BIPOC artists in the community whose works will be displayed at the show house, and then we'll go to Miraval Resort and Spa. So another great partner for their gallery halls where the works will be exhibited and for sale. So yeah, we are expanding. There's a lot more layers coming onto the Kaleidoscope Project. You can reach us at thekaleidoscopeproject.com. Follow us on Instagram, _Kaleidoscope Project. Our email, hello@thekaleidoscopeproject.com. You can Google how to spell kaleidoscope.
You'll probably get 3 different spellings.
Right, exactly. So yeah, we're out there. You can find us easily, and Lisa could tell you how you guys can reach Everick Brown Design.
And we're also, taking sponsors. So for this project, anybody that wants to contribute to the Kaleidoscope Project, same contacts. You can reach me at Lisa at Everick Brown. You can reach Everick at Everick Brown. You can reach us at info@Everick Brown, and we're everrickbrown.com. And you can follow us on Instagram at Everick Brown Design.
Well, I want to make sure you also shout out all the sponsors, because it's important for us to know the kinds of sponsors that are giving back to the community, that are actually doing more than the black boxes in June of 2020, or who are perpetuating diversity but aren't actually doing the work. So if you want to, real quick, just give them a shout out, go right ahead, because I think a lot of people like to know who to support.
The Shade Store is our diamond sponsor. We are internally grateful for their support. The beautiful work. I use them in my own work all the time. They're phenomenal supporters. And such a wonderful.
That's the Shade Store.
Yeah, Shade Store. Such a wonderful company to work with, all around, and we are thankful to them. Benjamin Moore is also a huge supporter of ours. Thank you so much. They're both exclusive window treatments, exclusive paint companies. We have Kravit, that's been an unbelievable support of ours. Fisher and Paykel Appliances is new to us because we're doing kitchens this time around, and we are so excited to work with them, as well as M-Tech for hardware, Cosentino for countertops, Adco for tile, Adco for tile, Sunpan for furniture. The list goes on, we always want to look for new and partnerships, and continue to work together on each other's marketing 2022 initiatives. We're so excited to work with all of them. Adonis Cabinetry.
Our house is going to sponsor us.
Our house is supporting the Browns with furniture. We're so thankful for that. So yeah, there's Global Views. So many great companies, and they really do support the mission. They really do. And we are also co-partnering with the Sustainable Furnishings Council now to make sure that our focus of sustainability and social equity is continues on, and I want to learn more, continue, learning about sustainability and all the different ways we can do better.
Thank you for sharing that list. I'm jaw dropping again with some of the sponsors
I
that
can't
they have
hear
such
Camille. I don't
beautiful
know why.
information. They have so many beautiful products and so on. But thank you for sharing that list. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to seeing this beautiful house. Maybe somebody will sponsor my trip. No, I'm kidding. I can come up and see the Berkshires and get to see the your first project as well. But either way, I'm so excited about you all, everything that you're doing, and hopefully we can meet up at market again coming up soon in the fall. So thanks again for being
Absolutely.
my guest today. Thanks everyone for tuning in. Make sure you keep up with the Kaleidoscope Project. They mentioned their websites. I have the spelling problem all the time, but the red wiggly lines will help you. And you can also just go to my website, a little bit easier to spell, CamilleCoward.com, basically my name .com. And all the information is there as well. And of course, this interview will be there as well. So thank you again for sharing. Thank you again for watching. And make sure you share this with your friends, your grandma and your mama and your sister and your anybody else. All right. And don't forget tomorrow for Earth Day, speaking of sustainability, I will have two guests who are traveling the world and one RV and camping and all the fun things that you can do outdoors. And they're going to share some great information tomorrow. So make sure you tune in tomorrow at noon to catch that as well. I have Claudia Bennett, and I don't want to butcher her name, but she is the CEO of Outdoorsy Black Women. They will be my guest tomorrow. So thank you again for tuning in.
Thank you.
Thank you.